Video number 4. How are you doing today? I am doing alright. I actually wrote down a list of things that I want to talk about today. So hopefully it'll be a little bit more prepared than the last video. And I cleared out some space on my phone too, so it kept cutting off, before an hour was up. So I want to keep this, try to get this at around an hour today. So yeah, recently I've just been working. I had a 4-day weekend this last weekend. So I took a trip to Hokkaido to visit one of my good friends. I haven't seen him in real life probably in about 8 years. And I finally was able to meet his wife and their daughter and hang out in Sapporo. Sapporo is the capital of Hokkaido. So that was a lot of fun. Got to hang out, go to quite a few different coffee shops, record shops. Got to hang out with him and his family. We went to the onsen too quite a bit. Onsen is like a bathhouse, but they have natural hot water. It's like I don't know how you'd say it in English, like a hot water spring, a natural one. So it was really nice. We went there probably 3 times. It was very relaxing. Yeah, just very relaxing. Nice water. It makes your skin feel very smooth and just very relaxing. It's very warm. Did the sauna. Did a cold plunge after the sauna, which is, I love it. There's nothing like it. Go in the sauna for about, was in there for about 10-12 minutes. Sitting down right in front of where the heat source is. So your lips and you're burning a little bit. Your nostrils are burning when you're breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. And then you get out of there and there's a cool water pool. It's cold water. And the pool is right outside the door of the sauna. So you're stumbling out of the sauna, because you've been in there for 12 minutes. It's hot. You're dripping beads of sweat. And you go into the cold water, and there's nothing else like it. It's great. I just realized how dark this video is right now. I'm driving through a dark portion of these trees right here. There we go. So yeah, went to the onsen in Hokkaido. Sauna, cold plunge. Nothing like it. If you've never done that, you need to go do that. Nothing like it. Somebody said that it makes you feel high, and I would have to agree with them, because yeah, I was a little bit out of my head. Because by the time, at first, I liked the sauna because when you first go in there, it's hard. I don't like it when you first go in there. It's too hot. Breathing kind of fast. So you have to control your breathing first. And by the time I finally get into a rhythm of controlling my breathing, there's a clock in there. I don't like that there's a clock in there, because then I keep looking at it. But first, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes is hell. Then after that, you just kind of just getting into your breathing patterns, getting into a rhythm. And then your body keeps sweating, and I can feel it in my body where it's just kind of sweating out. It just feels like impurities or whatever. It's just sweating it out, getting it out. And it feels so nice. It's very cleansing. And sometimes I only do it one time, do the cold plunge. The very first time I did it twice. And you kind of tell your body is just kind of out of sweat. It's you're not sweating as much as you were initially. And usually when I get that feeling, I kind of feel I'm finished, I'm done. There's no need for me to stay in there any longer. And so from that point, that's when I go and take a cold plunge. But the first 4 or 5 minutes is difficult. After that, getting into the rhythm, it's very relaxing. It's very like a thought pattern of like, oh, I can do hard things. It kind of sets in. And that's good. That's good because I can do hard things and you can do hard things too. You just have to control your breathing and just kind of settle into it and just kind of accept that that's what's going on right now. Same thing when you get out of sauna, going into the cold water. Initially it like shocks you and you have to catch your breath. But same thing, control your breathing, be in control of your body, and it's actually really nice. And then the cold water, for some strange reason, starts to feel like it's kind of warm or just room temperature water, and it's not even that cold anymore. This is after a few minutes of it setting in. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. All that to say, using that as an analogy of just kind of, the books I'm reading right now is Letting Go, and then I ordered Crucial Conversations. Conversations having in, when tensions are high stakes, high emotions. But yeah, letting go, like that's a good analogy of the sauna and cold plunge. It's just letting go of the control or not wanting to feel a certain way when you're in a certain situation and just accepting it for what it is. And things tend to turn out a little bit better. You become a little bit more level-headed, more clear-headed. And actually it's kind of an absence of thinking. I feel like thinking is what makes things spiral and get out of hand. But yeah, and then the book Crucial Conversations, it's not a difficult book. It's an easy read, but I can only read a few pages at a time because it's so dense with information. You can only read like 5-10 pages at a time because like after I read that, then I'm just like thinking about what I just read and how to apply it in my own life. So it's a very practical book. And yeah, it's a very useful book for all types of relationships, romantic relationships, co-worker relationships, siblings, parents. And yeah, I'm still learning. I've just been having some issues at work and tensions are running a little, not high, but it's everybody is good at what they do. And they have a certain way of doing things because they've done it a certain way, and I'm the new person there. Even though I've been a teacher for 12 years, so I'm not new to teaching, but I'm new to this school and how they do things. And first off, being in a different culture, being in Japan, they just do things differently than we do in America. And then in the certain school, just certain people, it's very hierarchical. So, from the top down. So the principal's in charge of everything, but yeah, just been having some issues there where it's like I want to do things a certain way, run it like a classroom like I did in America where I was in charge of the classroom. I'm a very competent teacher, and it sounds very, cocky, or I don't know what the right word is, but I'm just very confident in my abilities as a teacher. Not trying to be arrogant, that's the word I'm thinking of. I'm not trying to be arrogant, but I know that I'm good at it, and I know how to do things effectively. And so when I butt heads with people at work because they want it done a certain way, and I don't know, I think I just need to relax a little bit and just kind of like let things unfold, but at the same time I have a lot of momentum going because I'm also I want to start a business, and I'm still figuring out exactly how to do that on paper. I know in America, if I set up an LLC, I can do that, but starting it in Japan, and just kind of that too, do I start it as a business in Japan? Do I start it as an LLC in the States? I don't know. So I'm still researching that amongst studying marketing, studying, business generally, but marketing specifically. And it's not something I'm excited about. I'm not excited about marketing. But I can see just in the short amount of time that I've been learning about it more, it's extremely effective, and that's one of the main ways to make an income if you're going to have your own business. And the more that I've researched and listened to other business creators, entrepreneurs, it almost seems like starting businesses is their hobby, and they can just kind of take anything and make some money out of it. And so with me wanting to do English and teaching and worksheets and stuff like that, YouTube channel, I'm not sure exactly how to monetize that. I do, but as far as like growing, the base or whatever, like your clientele, because I just want to teach people, as many people as I can, teach them English, specifically English pronunciation. And I'm only one person, so I can only do so much in person. But if I make videos, I feel like I'll have a much wider reach, a much wider audience worldwide rather than just in Japan. And that really excites me, because I think it's great that, people who want to learn English, first off, I think it's great that they want to learn a second language. But to hone their skills and to become better at pronunciation, especially really in any work environment specifically. If you know English and your pronunciation is better and you're using it for work, and your pronunciation is better than other people that you work with, you're gonna get more attention. And the thing that I have to offer too is I'm from America, so I have an American accent, which there's no accent, I guess, in America. There is, if you're from the UK or Australia, whatever. But it's kind of highly sought after, is just having an American accent. So teaching that, having a wider spread of people doing it on YouTube rather than in person, I think that's great. And so started my YouTube channel. Now I just need to make videos for that one. I've already started this guy on a motorcycle. I've already made worksheets, a workbook. It has the phonograms, has the different sounds of the letter, has pictures to go along, so it has sample words that correspond to that particular sound of the letter. So A is A-A-A. A, first off, is the letter name. So letter name is A, like A, B, C, D, F, G. A is a letter name. A-A-A is the three sounds of A. So corresponding with those three sounds, A-A-A, I have the words, apple for A, so A, I have ape, like a monkey, so A-A-A, and then I have like fall, like somebody falling down. And then kids can practice writing those words, practice pronouncing those words too, after they practice the sounds of A. Sorry, there's a lot of people here. So yeah, it all ties together, and it's extremely effective. And I'm just wanting to do some videos that correspond with the worksheets that I'm creating. Kind of like, it could be like school for parents. Like parents can have their kids watch YouTube video, download the worksheet, follow along with the video, and it's like your own English coach on your iPad or your computer, wherever you are. And yeah, I think it's great. And I really want to market this workbook towards, I might have mentioned this in my other video, but I want to market it towards, like working class families. yeah, I feel very strongly about that, to make it affordable for ordinary people. So yeah, they can have a better English. And just knowing a second language can get you better jobs. Speaking English better than other people at your workplace can get you a higher paying position than the other person. And just all around, it'd be good. And I don't think just because somebody comes from, you know, a lower income family that they shouldn't have access to that. So it's, like I said, I feel very strongly about that. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. And you can do a lot with the internet, and I'm slowly figuring out that all this untapped potential, just making videos on YouTube, or I haven't looked too much into this, but like monetizing from YouTube. I'm making this video right now. I'm doing it just to do it. I'm not doing it to make money off of it, but if I get some extra money, like that would be nice. But these videos right now I'm making for myself, just so I can rewatch them and yeah, just kind of study them, kind of like sports, how they rewatch their play-by-play, and then see how they can improve on it. So right now, this is my 4th video, and still, like, when I rewatch it, it's my very first one. I would say I was a little bit embarrassed, just because it's not used to watching myself talk to a camera, you know, for an hour. So it's kind of strange. It's a little weird. And listening to my own voice, that's a little weird. It's still a little weird, but it's less weird now than it was the very first time. And yeah, and things that I've been practicing too, projecting my voice, making sure I'm heard. I have a tendency to mumble or to have like a sort of like a lisp thing, and I don't like that. And so right now I'm conscious of it. So I'm trying to enunciate my words a little bit better than I usually do. Because when I mumble, it's kind of like my mouth is lazy, and I'm saying these words kind of like with the lisp, and it just bothers me. I don't like it, because I don't feel like I sound like that, but I guess obviously I do. If that's how everybody else hears me, then that's how I sound. So just doing exercises on better enunciation, doing videos and listening to people, like voice projection, and really just practicing off the cuff, stream of consciousness talking, trying not to get in my own way. Because the more I think about what I'm gonna say, and I've noticed too where I just pause, like I'm in the middle of saying something and I just kind of pause, and then I can see that I'm like thinking about something. I'm trying to just go with the flow and just let it flow out of me and not think so much. And I have a tendency to overthink quite a bit, where I get in my own way. And I feel like after doing this and practicing this, I feel like I've gotten a little bit better. And the thing that I really like to say is like getting better at least 1% every day. Just baby steps. I think it's extremely important, and it's extremely doable for anybody, and you can do anything. And I honestly believe anybody can do anything that they want if they put their mind to it, and it's something that you actually want to do. Then you can't help yourself but get better just a little bit every single day. And so with this, like, I'm just really excited about like where it will take me. Like learning these skills right now, I feel like I'm very new to it. I'm going to do this really quick. There we go. It's getting darker out, so the camera's changing. What was I saying? Yeah, just getting a little bit better each day, 1% better each day. You can do anything that you want. And since I found this kind of like hole in YouTube of just learning new things, I'm very excited about learning new things. I've always been interested in so many different things. I always joke that I wish I could live multiple lives. That way I can just focus on one thing in each life, because there's so many things that I'm interested in. And like my mind is just a non-stop conversation of like, whoa, I wonder what that would be like. I wonder what that would be like. You know? being like an actor or a film director or a musician or a teacher or being a construction worker. There's so many different things where it's like, oh, that would be cool to like put all of my focus into that one thing and be the best at that thing. But that's just not how I am. I want to know everything. I want to do everything. It's so interesting to me. Like, being a human is so interesting and fascinating to me, and I love it. And it goes for anything. Most things. I won't say everything, but most things. And since studying about social skills, I feel like that's fascinating. It's an art. It really is. The people that are good at it, and it seems like they don't even think about it because they're just gifted at it. And that's something that I know that I lack and I want to improve on. So I'm doing just a little bit every single day. Like, I'm making this video. This is helping me. I'm talking. I don't usually talk like this. I'm usually and I'm thinking too much. But right now, I'm not really thinking. I'm getting into kind of like a flow state right now where things are just coming out of my mouth. And I really like that because that's what I've always wanted, but I like hold myself back. So it's nice to just let go, to just do it, and to just talk, and to just be free, and to just run your mouth. So, and especially if I want to start a business, you have to be able to network with people. You have to be able to communicate with people effectively. And since I want to teach English, I'm teaching English right now, but I want to have an English teaching business, YouTube, and teach pronunciation. I have to be able to communicate with people effectively. I can't be scared about what somebody's gonna think, or I shouldn't be like self-conscious, like, oh, how does my voice sound right now? Oh, is my voice too loud? And that's one of the things I had to overcome, is every time, like talking right now, it probably sounds normal, but this is very loud from how I would normally talk in the past. Especially if I'm thinking about it and I'm making a video, if I'm thinking about it, I feel like I'm projecting my voice right now, and it probably just sounds normal. But this, I want to make my new normal, because when I speak at this level and I'm in public, people can actually hear what I'm saying. But if I'm talking like really quiet, this is usually how I normally talk. Like, you can't hear anything if I talk like that. Especially if I'm in public, we're out in public, it's busy, there's a crowd of people. People can't hear me. But in my head, it's very loud, and so I think I'm speaking too loud and people still can't hear me. And that's something that I just learned, like voice projection, that I just learned when I was a teacher. Call it using your teacher voice. And I'm great at using that in the classroom, but when I'm in public, or when I was in public before, it just sounds like I'm shouting, and I don't want to come across as though I'm shouting. But I'm not shouting, I'm just talking in a normal tone to where people can actually hear what I'm saying. So it's just similar. And I'm considered introverted. Obviously, introverted is, getting energy from being by yourself. But I love doing extroverted things. And when I'm actually doing extroverted things and I enjoy them, I actually do get energy from that. They call that an ambivert or something like that. I don't know. I don't want to put all these silly labels on it. But typically, I get more energy when I'm by myself. But if I'm by myself for too long, I just need to be around people. And I need to just like let loose and get it out. It's just being around the right types of people. So, but another thing that I've been practicing too is, I guess in the social skills, like dating world, whatever, it's called cold approach. And I use this, how do I say this correctly? I'm not using this to pick up on women or anything like that, but just having a conversation with anybody throughout my day. And I've tried to make this, not trying to, have been making this a normal practice where I'll just comment on something of someone, whether it be the cashier at the convenience store or at any store, just being out, or like when I was in Hokkaido going to these different record shops, just commenting on the place, like, oh, this is a really nice shop, man, you have a nice selection here. And then you're just like starting up a conversation with somebody. That's not something I would ever do in the past. It's like, I don't know this person. In my head, I'm thinking, oh, this person doesn't want to talk to me. And now I'm just thinking, like, I don't care. Like, I like this store. I'm just going to tell this guy that I like it. Maybe we'll start talking about music, or tell him the music that I'm into, or whatever. It's just having a conversation, just trying to, like, break the ice and talk with people. You know, make a comment on, you know, their shoes or their hat or whatever. Just saying something. But not to just say something just to say it, but if it's actually something that I like, you know? If somebody's wearing a nice jacket, I'm like, oh, that's a nice jacket, like, I like that color. Just something like that can start a conversation. And I'm living in Japan, and my Japanese is not a very high level. And so I'm using words, I'm just using what I know. And it's very little. And I'm still able to do that and have a conversation with people. And my Japanese is actually better than I realized, because once I start talking with people, I'm like, oh, I can actually kind of understand what they're saying, and I can actually kind of explain what I want to say too. And, you know, you have some hiccups every once in a while, some hang-ups, but it was really fun. Like yesterday, I was driving around and I was contemplating whether I wanted to make this video or not, but it was getting a little late and I hadn't written anything down on a list. And I wanted to be better prepared than I was in my last video, because it was a little embarrassing for me. Just having more quiet spots throughout the video. Anyway, so yesterday, I thought I was gonna make the video. I ended up not making it. And so since I was out, it was actually pretty late, and that's one of the reasons why, I think, too, along with not having any notes. I was out, it's probably around, it was kind of late. Grocery stores were closing, because they close around 8 o'clock here. And the closer they are to closing, the less food that they have available, because I was gonna go get some grilled chicken. And I knew they weren't gonna have any, so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna stop by, there's a place, it's yakitori. Yakitori is like barbecue chicken on sticks. So there's a yakitori place that I really wanted to go to, and it's about 45 minutes from my house. And I was like, I'm not sure if they're still open or not, but I'm gonna go there anyways. So sure enough, I drive all the way there, listening to music, just relaxing. I really like driving, it relaxes me. I get there, the store is closed. Like, all right, well now what am I gonna do? But on my way there, I passed another yakitori place called an izakaya. Izakaya is like a place where you have drinks and stuff like that with, you know, friends and coworkers, like after work. Kind of like a bar, but nicer. So there's an izakaya that I've been to, and I'm passing it on my way to this other place. And in my mind, I'm like, if this other place is closed, I'm gonna go back to this izakaya and get some yakitori and see if I can, like, you know, take it back home. So yeah, sure enough, the place is closed. I turn around, I go to the other yakitori, the izakaya, and on the door, it says in Japanese, like, oh, no takeout, you know, mochikairi dekimasen, like, can't take this home. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll just have to sit in here by myself then, because I'm really hungry, and I know their barbecue chicken's really good. And it's fairly inexpensive. It's very cheap. It's very cheap. Food in Japan is very cheap. So in that moment, I had a decision to make. I can choose to sit by myself in this place and make it awkward and get some food. 3 choices. make it awkward, go inside, get some food. That's choice number one. Choice number two, I just go get some food at the convenience store. Don't even worry about it, you know? Choice number three, and the choice I ended up going with, was not make it weird, eat at the restaurant, and try to strike up a conversation with the workers there. And so that's what I did. And it turned out great. And there were portions of, you know, me sitting there, you know, I'm by myself. There's people with their coworkers, little, you know, groups of people. I tried hard not to be on my phone because I don't want to use that as a crutch if I'm feeling awkward in any situations. And I recommend other people do that too. If you're like waiting for something, you're waiting for a friend, you're at a restaurant, avoid going to your phone. You know, it's like a pacifier. And so, yeah. Well, I had this earbud in and I thought it was recording the audio, but I guess it wasn't. So I guess this is straight onto my phone. Anyways, yeah, so for myself, I'm challenging myself, don't use a phone as a pacifier. You know, just embrace the awkwardness. If you're feeling awkward, first off, you feeling awkward is making the whole situation more awkward. So just try not to be awkward or think that you're making it awkward. Just get that out of your vocabulary. And yeah, just make comments. So I struck up a conversation with the waitress there. I told her, like, in Japanese, I was like, the whole menu is all in Japanese, there's no English. This is in the countryside, the Chiba countryside. So the menu is all in Japanese. Some of it I can't read, most of it I can. And so I just asked her, I was like, oh, I would like this. And I asked her if they had something, it's called taco wasabi. Taco is octopus. So it's like these little, it's like minced octopus mixed with wasabi. And it's kind of like neba. What is that? I don't know in English. But it's kind of like, it's, I don't know. I don't know what to compare it to. Anyways, it's really good. I didn't see it on the menu, but then again, it doesn't mean that it's not on the menu because it could be written in kanji and I can't read all the kanji, so I asked the waitress, like, oh, do you have taco wasabi? And she's like, oh, sorry, we don't have that. But we do have this here. She's like, do you like umeboshi? Umeboshi is like a dried plum, and it's very sour. And I do like umeboshi. It's very delicious. And I forget what the thing was called, because I couldn't read all the kanji, but I could read ume. And she recommended it. I was like, all right, I'll get that. And then, you know, she's, you know, back and forth, like, oh, how do you want your chicken? Do you want it like salt, or do you want like a type of, similar to a barbecue sauce? It's not called barbecue sauce here, but it's like sauce or salt, essentially. And so I told her, you know, I want this one with the sauce, this one just with salt. And yeah, so we kind of like struck up a conversation. She's like, oh, you're from this area, stuff like that. And so yeah, I told her, I was like, no, I'm actually living in Chiba City, work in Funabashi, but I used to live in Ichinomiya, and this place was near Mutsuzawa, just south of Mobara. I don't think any of you know where that is. Anyways, it's in the countryside, in the Chiba countryside. And like normal me, a long time ago me, whatever, I would never strike up a conversation with a lady who works at the restaurant, especially in Japanese. But here recently, I'm like, why not? You know what I mean? Like, why not? I'm just commenting like, oh, I really like this shop. You know, this yakitori is like very large. You know, the ones at the grocery store are like very small and expensive. And these ones were like giant chunks of chicken on the sticks with the sliced green onions. It was so good. So yeah, I'm just telling her about the shop. You know, it's a really nice shop. It's like ornate, like wooden on the inside. It's kind of, it's like a neo-traditional, like it's a newer version of like a traditional Japanese building on the inside. And yeah, it was great. Food was great. The atmosphere was great. Yeah, and just having conversation with her, and then I'm assuming it was either her husband or someone who's like back in the kitchen. And in Japanese culture, like when you go to a restaurant, when you're leaving, when you say in Japanese, you know, gochiso sama deshita, it's kind of like roughly translates to like, oh, everything was great, thank you. So it's kind of like that. If you're going to like a mom and pop restaurant in the States, you're like, oh, food was great, thanks a lot for everything. And they're like, oh, thank you. Kind of like that exchange. And I usually don't do that in Japan, but I was like, you know, like, I don't care. Like, I'm not thinking about it anymore. Everybody else does it. I'm always shy, like, oh, I don't want to say it too loud, and my Japanese is not very good, blah, blah, blah. Like this negative, you know, all this negative inner voice. And I'm just like, I just don't care. I'm just going to say it. And it was great. It was a great time. I was not looking forward to it right before it happened. But in that split second, those 3 choices that I could have made, 3 options, and I chose that one, and I'm glad that I did. And so, yeah, it was a great time. And then afterwards, drove around a little bit, went back home. And yeah, so it's just so freeing, and it's just nice to just talk and not just get out of my own way, you know, just get out of my head. And I almost struck up a conversation with the group of guys that were sitting next to me, but I was like, let's not push it, all right, 1 step at a time, right, 1% each day. So, but I thought about it, I almost did, but high five me. So I did what I didn't want to do, and you grow from that, seriously. And like I said earlier, I'm just trying to make that part of my daily routine of just striking up conversations with people, like genuinely, without being fake. There was an instance where this girl had like half of her hair was pink, the other half was black, and I wanted to say something, but I got into my head and I just didn't say it. I thought about it for too long when I shouldn't have thought about it at all. When I just thought like, oh, her hair is really cool, I should say something, but I didn't. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. It's just an example of how I can get in my own way sometimes and not say something. But if I do, you find that I've been finding people are really interesting. And I used to, portion of me still thinks this, where it's like I used to think like, oh, people are kind of bland, like whatever. And they're just not. Everybody's interesting. Most people. There are some people, they're just boring. Just blah, just cookie cutter. Like, you toss them into the ocean and you wouldn't even know they left. Anyways, don't do that to anybody. But you know what I mean. Everybody knows something like that. You're just like anybody else. But some people are very interesting. And if somebody has half of their hair dyed pink and half their hair dyed black, they're probably going to be a very interesting person. Maybe even a little weird. So, yeah. So that was my challenge for myself yesterday. And it was kind of like a bonus challenge because I had to use this all in Japanese. Like, I had to use Japanese. This conversation was all in Japanese. And then today after work, like, I tweaked my back a while ago. And I've been trying to find a chiropractor, massage, whatever. And I drive by this place every day after work. And I'm like, oh, I should go, but I don't go today. Oh, I should go, but I don't go that day. So yesterday I was like, you know what? I need to go to this place and just not think about it. Just go there. It's very obvious this is where you can, you know, get your back fixed. I was like, oh, like I don't want to do all this in Japanese and use translator apps and blah blah blah. My Japanese isn't very good, but it's like I'll just deal with the back pain. Like, no, like don't do that. Go get it done. Start taking care of yourself. So finally today after work, I went there. And of course I'm filling out, you know, the paperwork. It's saying, you know, about like, what are your symptoms, and you know, you can't sue us if we hurt your back, whatever, all this stuff. Anyways, turns out it's not actual chiropractor. They're not cracking my back, but I got a, what do they call it, shiatsu massage. It's very nice. And then they had the, what do they call it? What's it called? Electricity, the electro leads, whatever. And it like pulses. You can turn up the intensity and stuff like that. So yeah, it's probably about, I don't know, maybe 45 minutes to an hour, you know, the massage, and then the electrodes, whatever that thing's called, the TENS unit. That's what it is. It's called a TENS unit. And yeah, it felt so nice. My back still hurts a little bit, but not nearly as much as it was. And so yeah, I'd fill out the paperwork, and I was having difficulty, and the guy comes up to me later, he's like, oh, like, we can fill this out together. And I was like, that would be so much better. And like, he's saying this in Japanese, and we're able to communicate in Japanese. And yeah, conversational level Japanese, like I can do that. But a lot of these words were very like specific, you know, like specific body parts, you know, where specifically on your back is hurting, stuff like insurance card and all these other words. So I like mentioned to him, he's like, when I'm using the translator app, looking up in the dictionary, I'm like, man, you're using a lot of difficult words. He's like, oh yeah, sorry about that. He's like, that's just how it goes. But then afterwards, we just started having a normal conversation, you know, as he's like, you know, massaging my back and just having a lot of knots in my muscles. He's like, that's pretty much what he said. He's like, oh, kiniku ga katai. He's like, I don't know, like your muscles are really hard. Like, yeah, I don't know. I've had this backache for a while now. I haven't done anything about it, so I guess the muscles just tensed up. So yeah, got that done today. That was a fun conversation. I feel better and got to practice my Japanese, got to practice my cold approach, if you would even consider it that. I think it's just conversation. But yeah, with that. So yeah, getting out of my own way, using Japanese in conversation, and doing the cold approach to make it a normal part of everyday life. And yeah, and tying it back to, I went to Tokyo a few weeks ago. Maybe it was last week. I went twice in the last couple weeks, hanging out with my friend. And he was born and raised in Tokyo. He's, you know, he knows it like the back of his hand, so he knows all the cool spots. And yeah, we're just going out. He is getting fitted for a suit. I met up with him in a place called Ginza. It's kind of like the very ritzy part of Tokyo. Probably the most richest part of Tokyo. And got fitted for a suit. We're checking out suits and stuff like that. And he brought a friend with him too. He's getting a suit. It was nice meeting him and just meeting more people. I really love it. And this is a friend, like we've known each other probably 12 years at this point. And his our personalities couldn't be more different. He's just he's so talkative. He's very animated gestures, talking with his hands, and which is surprising, you know, because he's Japanese. Typically Japanese people are very shy and timid and don't want to make a scene, and this guy's like none of that, you know. I always make the joke like, oh, I'm more Japanese than you are and you're more American than I am, and we just laugh about it. Anyway, so I'm hanging out with this guy. They're getting fitted for a suit. Afterwards, his friend has to leave, so it's just me and my friend Hiro. And we're walking around a place right next to Tokyo Station. Ginza's not far from Tokyo, but the place where we're going to is a place called Yurakucho. And Yurakucho is like one station away from Tokyo, like the main Tokyo station on JR. And he's like, you know, where do you want to eat? And I was like, let's get some soba or some yakitori. Soba is like cold noodles, and it's very good. It's very good. It's buckwheat noodles. And so yeah, we're walking around. He's like, let's just walk around, see what looks good, and then we'll go. And we're going down from Tokyo Station to Yurakucho. And there's a bunch of shops underneath the actual train tracks. There's like these bricked arches. It's like red bricks and it's these arches. And inside are different shops, you know, different restaurants, izakayas, you know, pubs, whatever, bars. And as we're walking through, it gets more narrow and narrow, and it's like this skinny little, it almost looks like somebody dug it underground, like an underground tunnel. We're underneath the railroad, and we're going through just non-stop restaurants on either side. And like, oh man, this is so cool. It's like we're going on a, you know, on a Goonie adventure, you know? Just going through these tunnels looking for, you know, One-Eyed Willie's rich stuff. Looking for treasures, you know? And they have these really cool restaurants, and it seriously reminded me of that final scene from, or one of the final scenes in High and Low, the Akira Kurosawa movie, where they're looking for this guy, you know, who's kidnapped the kid. And he's in these restaurants with all these mirrors and stuff. And I swear, walking through this area, it looked exactly like that scene. So many people, hustle and bustle, so many people, mirrors. And oh man, it was so good. So we finally go by this place. It's like through a narrow tunnel. And the restaurant is actually, the walkway is through the middle of the restaurant, and it's just an open air restaurant, but still we're underneath the railroad and this arch. So one half of the restaurant's over here, the other half is right here, and the walkway is straight through, you know, going from one side of the tracks to the other. And we walk through, and I was just like, man, this smells so good. But we keep walking. We're gonna check out other restaurants. We go further down, and eventually both of us were like, we need to go back to that yakitori place because that smelled so good, and like the vibes are just so cool. It's so cool. So we end up going there, sitting down. It's just like, you know, benches. No, it's individual seats, but long tables, so everybody's sharing the same table. And yeah, so we order all this yakitori. It's fairly inexpensive too. The beer's expensive, that's the thing. When you go to these yakitori izakaya places, the food is fairly inexpensive, but the drinks aren't. And so like that's how they make their money. So yeah, this place, we order a couple beers, and we order some really good chicken. And then we order some nihonshu, which is sake, Japanese sake. It's very good. And, you know, we're drinking, we're eating, really good times. And then, yeah, the guy's sitting next to us. We just started talking with him. And I don't even remember who started the conversation, and we just started talking. Turns out, like, this guy's English is pretty good, and you know, it's pretty good, but we're still speaking, me and him, like half and half. He's like half English, half Japanese, and you know, half and half. We can kind of understand each other. And yeah, and we just made like 2 new friends that night. Me and my friend Hiro just talking to these 2 other guys that, you know, are co-workers. One of the guys was in his early 40s, and then the other guy was older, in like his early 60s. and he was actually really into punk music, post-punk, so we really hit it off just talking about music. I don't know where I'm going here. So yeah, it was really cool, and you know, we're sharing drinks together, we're pouring drinks for each other, and you know, it's getting late, and I tell Hiro, I was like, I need to like make sure I catch the last train, because we're in Tokyo. It's a weeknight too. It's a weeknight. I have work the next morning. But we're hanging out. It's fun. We're enjoying each other's company. We're enjoying these new friends that we made. And yeah, but time is, you know, coming to a close. I think it was what, around 11 o'clock or something like that. I'm like, oh god damn, like I gotta get home. It's at least, well, from Tokyo Station, it's only about 40 minutes to Chiba Station. But I really wanted to try to make it to catch the last bus. Otherwise, I have to get a taxi, and it's like, you know, 20 bucks. Anyways, that guy has been drinking way too much. His coworker is drinking quite a bit too. But the older guy, like, he's like falling asleep at the table. You know, we're like, you know, nudging him like, hey, how you doing? You know, Oji-san, like, how are you? Like, you're falling asleep here. And so yeah, we pay our bill, we walk back to Yurakucho Station, that's their station, and we have him like arm in arm, you know, our arms are around him, we're helping him walk, and oh, I was supposed to turn right there. And yeah, we're just talking to each other, arms around his neck, you know, walking with him. And it was his coworker's stop too, so we're just like, you know, are you guys good? Is he okay? And they're like, yeah, thank you so much for walking with us. And so me and Hiro walk away, and then he's going to a different station. I'm going to Tokyo Station. He's going to some other, you know, the subway station. And so he's like, you good? I'm like, yeah. And yeah, we just head back. I head back to the station. And it was a great night. I ended up getting home probably around 12:30. And I was like, you know what? Like, I need to make it a habit to like go out, because it's actually really important. Because I need to practice my social skills, and it's fun. It's fun. It's fun. I knew I was gonna pay for it the next day. I knew I was gonna be tired. And it was a little expensive, you know, going out there, paying for the food, coming back on the train, and then paying for a taxi. I don't even know how much it was. I don't even want to add it up, because it was worth it. It was worth it. How many times I'm gonna say I got to have yakitori with one of my good friends underneath the train tracks outside Tokyo Station, and making new friends that same night, and then you're walking, you have to hold this guy up so that he can walk, and you're walking him back to the station. Like, how many times in your life are you gonna have that story to tell? Like, never. So like, I don't care how much it is, you know what I mean? But yeah, so much fun, and I paid for it the next day. I was tired, and yeah, I had to drink lots of water. I drink lots of coffee. You know what? It's funny, because it's 53 minutes on this video right now. I haven't even looked at my list that I made. But I think I hit most of what I already had on here. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I definitely hit most of these. The only thing I didn't hit is that this weekend I'm gonna be going to Kamakura, which has the Daibutsu, like the huge Buddha statue. And yeah, I'm really, I heard what's his name, Owen Cook, on YouTube, and he said something really stuck with me, because he's talking about, you know, growing your business, social skills, making lots of money, marketing for yourself. One of his big things that I really like is that he's like, you need to focus on presence. You need to be happy with where you are right now in life, because if you're not, and and your happiness is always right out of reach, you know, I'll be happy when I have $1 million. I'll be happy if I have this job, if I have this car, this girl, whatever. I'll be happy when. If you have that mindset and you're not happy now, you'll get the thing that you think will make you happy, and then you'll get it and you still won't be happy. And so focusing on enjoying where you are, enjoying the things that you already have, and tying this in with, you know, what Bob Proctor always says, like, you're already rich. Everybody's already rich. We're just lacking a little bit of money right now. But we're lacking money, but we are definitely very rich. Like, and Owen Cook always says, like, what are things in your local area that you can do for free? What's something that doesn't cost money and you can enjoy it and do it for free? Like, go do that thing. And it's very true. Yeah, it costs money to ride the trains and go to Kamakura, but to get in there, it might be less than $5. Like, usually going to those places, like, it's a little bit of an entrance fee just for, you know, the groundskeepers and stuff to just, like, take care of the place. So yeah, I'm gonna go to Kamakura. I haven't been there in like 10 years. And I'd like to do a video there. I've been doing lots of like short videos on Instagram and also posting them to YouTube on this channel. And so yeah, like, what can you do in your local area? And I want to take that challenge that was challenged to me, and I want to challenge you. If you're watching this video right now, look for something in your local area that's free. One of the things that I normally do, and I've just gotten in the habit of doing this, is going to my local park, just walking around the park and just enjoying it for what it is. Like, there's lots of beautiful trees, there's ponds, there's, you know, people walking dogs, and that's another way I can strike up conversations with people. And yeah, 1% each day, improving 1% each day. So yeah, so that's my challenge to you. If you're watching this and you're feeling a little bit like, you know, down, like, you know, everything's expensive, life sucks, blah blah blah, like, it, if you have that mindset, then yeah, it is, because, you know, you see things through the lens, like, you see things through a certain lens, you know. So I just challenge you to do that. And if you're watching this and you made it this far, it's been an hour. It's interesting to know, like, where you're from. So if you're watching this, you made it this far, like, just put in the comment section, like, where are you from? Because I'm legitimately interested. I noticed that I did get a new subscriber, so now I'm up to 17, which might not mean a lot to other people, but it means a lot to me. It means 17 people have committed to, like, watching my videos when they come out, maybe. And so I just want to say thank you to those 17 people. I can't see all of your names on there because some of you have it hidden. But yeah, it really means a lot to me. And yeah, like I said, I'm making these videos for myself, so I'm glad that you enjoy it, and I hope you get something out of it. So yeah, it's right around 58 minutes. I'll keep talking for the next minute and a half just to make it an hour, because that's my goal. I am on my way to go to Ichinomiya because I need to go to the dollar store. And I'm actually driving by where I went to yakitori last night. And I'm actually going to a different yakitori place tonight. The place I went yesterday was called Fukusen. Fukusen. The place I'm going tonight is called Kikusen. Kikusen. So Fukusen yesterday, Kikusen tonight. And it's very similar to where I went yesterday. Like, the yakitori is so massive and so huge. And yeah, I'm really excited for it. But I have to go to Ichinomiya first because I need to pick up some stuff, and then I'll head back that way. And yeah, 30 seconds to go. I We've got this. So yeah, thanks again for everybody subscribing, watching these videos. Comment where you're from in this comment section. I don't like to say hit that like button, so don't do it unless you really want to. I don't want to sell anything. But yeah, super glad that you're enjoying this, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, peace out. Bye-bye.